What's up, everybody? It's JB coming to you live. I am 100% permanent total Navy Desert Storm veteran. All right, so I am permanent total. That means that I'm going to probably die with these injuries that happened a long time ago and while I served active duty in 1991 to 1995. Now, the first element that we talked about, part of a 4-element series, is called the diagnosis, the first element. So when I got out the military in 1991 to 1995, I should have had a diagnosis and I should have been told about VA disability. A lot of you right now haven't even been told about VA disability once you leave in service. And back in those days, even previously, I know they didn't do it, okay? I was able to walk out the military with a broken nose and everything else, and nobody told me anything about disability. It took 25 years for me to get this information I'm giving to you guys all online, okay? So let's break this down. Satisfy the current disability requirement of service connection, all right? Evidence of a current disability is required as one of the components established in service connection. Generally, the criteria is satisfied when a current examination or evidence demonstrates the presence of a chronic disability. Now, it doesn't matter how many disabilities that you're filing for, you got to show that disability. However, the evidence must be reviewed to determine whether a disability was present at the time the claim was filed. When I filed my claim November 2019, I had to have that disability or during the pendency of the claim, but has not since being resolved. Why would you wait after the fact to file and get a diagnosis? You just giving them reasons to have reasonable doubt, which is your enemy in this claim process. You filed so long ago, now all of a sudden, 30, 40 years later, you're trying to file a claim. There's a lot of doubt there. Okay, let's move right forward. The requirement of a current disability is met if a disability exists when a veteran files a claim or while the claim is pending, even though the disability resolves before the Department of Affairs decides the claim. Listen what it says. Even though it may be resolved, but it has to be existing when you file the claim. The disability can be resolved. A diagnosis that is near contemporaneous with the filing of a claim must be considered when determining whether a disability existed when the claim was received or during its pendency. Okay, so you got the right to wait after you filed it and while it's still pending and not decided to get a disability. But my question is, why get that doubt? Why wait on the CMP examiner to give you a diagnosis when you get this done already and put it on your problem list? Now, let's move a little bit further. A near contemporaneous diagnosis is a diagnosis that is dated approximately within 1 year prior to the date of the claim being submitted. That's why I told you the other day in the other video that you need to have a current diagnosis within the last 12 months. Here it is in black and white. This is what the VA rater is using, the adjudication manual to adjudicate your claim, okay? A diagnosis that predates but is near contemporaneous, with a claim is capable of establishing a current disability under the law. A diagnosis that predates a claim, before the claim. If I do a consultation with you and the first thing I tell you to do is get a diagnosis, this is where this is covered before you even submit the claim, all right? So I want you guys to understand the diagnosis is the first element that we need to be concerned with and put it on your problem list. Send a secure message within My Healthy Vet right now. Go into My Healthy Vet and I want you to put a secure message to your doctor, whether it's the Gold team or whatever team you got at the VA, and say, listen, I have a diagnosis of X. Can you please put this on my problem list? Why am I doing that? Because I want that information to stick out front. When they're doing the outpatient, when they pull in your outpatient electronic health record in the initial stages, when they get your paperwork in, the first place they're going to look is not only your personnel records from the military, where you served, what squadron, what company, what theater operations you was in, what was your rank, what kind of ribbons. They're looking at all that personal record. But the second thing they're going to do is look at your history of medical records at the VA. All right. So it's imperative that you hold that diagnosis right in front of them. Say, hey, I got my diagnosis. It's chronic. It's on my file. Let's go to the next element. Talk to you soon. This is the first of 3 or 4 videos that we're going to cover those 4 elements. Diagnosis, we're going to cover the in-service event, we're going to cover the medical nexus and the severity, okay? Talk to you soon. God bless.